The tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol has ordered military aircrafts to be deployed to evacuate its citizens from Israel and Lebanon. South Korean President has said that the safety of its citizens in the region is top priority and all necessary measures must be undertaken. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Ajay, obviously, responsible countries are making sure that their citizens leave Israel at this point in time, because as things stand today, the escalation is pretty much inevitable.
Pardon, please repeat the question.
Ajay, it's pretty obvious and pretty evident that most responsible countries are going to look to evacuate their citizens from Israel because the escalation is imminent.
Yes, Uday, you rightly said that because of the way this escalation is taking place, it is expected that it could create trouble for the civilians of the different countries, those who reside over there, and definitely that is the reason that what our sources are saying that countries, those who basically live there, and they are worried about their nationalists, and they are.
All right, we've lost that connection with Ajay. We'll try and get him on momentarily. But it's Korea at this point in time that are working to, in fact, evacuate their citizens out of Israel and Lebanon. All right, Mrs. Amira Abbas, scholar at the Al Mustafa University in Qom, Iran, is joining us as well. Mr. Abbas, thank you for joining me. I hope you can hear me, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
Well, so first up, the big question here is that you have attacked Israel. Israel terms it as a terrorist attack, and they have pledged to attack you back. What can you say about the situation as it stands today?
Okay, first of all, it's a very offensive question that you have attacked. First of all, I'm an Indian citizen who studies in Iran and stays in Iran. Secondly, a country which is not a country.
I'm sorry, sir, I was not given that introduction about you. I apologize for that.
What I'm saying is a country which is a colony, which is an occupier, which has killed more than 10,000 children in the last 1 year and has killed more than 50,000 people. Out of them, most of them are women and children, has destroyed 70% of the population living in Gaza. They don't have water to drink. According to United Nations, at that, whatever is happening in Gaza right now is a genocide. Okay, so what Iran has done, we'll discuss that. But if Israel says anybody is a terrorist, in fact, they should be very happy, because Israel can only say anybody a terrorist who is a good person. Why? Because all the terrorists which were there in the world, they were either created, funded, or trained by either America or Israel. Let me give you some examples. Taliban was a terrorist organization. It was created and funded by America. ISIS was an organization there are clear links of ISIS with America and Israel. And the soldiers which were there in fighting for ISIS, because they wanted to get Syria free from Bashar al-Assad, they created a proxy army called ISIS. So if Israel calls anybody a terrorist, it's shameful, because it is a country, when we define terrorism, we say killing innocent people, killing civilians, destroying homes, terrorizing people. If you want to just symbolize any community with all these features, the first thing that you'll have in your mind is Israel, and the first person who is the worst terrorist in the world would be Netanyahu. Then coming to the second part, what Iran has done, okay? Iran had shown a lot of restraint, okay? Iran is a civilization which is 2,500 years old. Iran is a civilization which believes in ethics, which believes in morality. Okay, now Iran has a clear stand that Palestinians who own the land should return to their own land, whether they are Christians, whether they are Jews, whether they are Muslims. Anybody who is the owner of the land should return to Palestine. And those people who have come from America and Europe, they should go back to their own country. Palestine belongs to the Palestinians, the same way Mahatma Gandhi has quoted that Palestine belongs to the Palestinian. So Palestine should be given to the Palestinians. This is the stand of Mahatma Gandhi. This is the stand of Ayatollah Khamenei.
Mr. Abbas, the Israeli government also says that, this may be an attack which is escalated in nature, but Iran has always been attacking Israel through its proxies, the three H's, the Houthis, the Hezbollah and the Hamas. How do you respond to that?
Okay, let us first understand what is the proxy. Okay, first of all, Israel itself is a proxy of America. So Israel is not a country, it's a colony which was created and established by the British, enforced in the name of Holocaust. Holocaust, if the Germans had done it, they should have gone back to Germany, not go into anybody else's country and take over the place and call it. And then they did a lot of massacres which are there. There is Sabra Shatila, and all these massacres are documented by United Nations.
Well, it's the Israelis, Mr. Abbas, who says that it's the Arabs who occupied Israel. They have a footprint of living in that area since 3,500 years. Jesus lived there, which is mentioned in the Bible. That's what Mr. Netanyahu said.
Okay, so if I come to your home and say 4,000 years ago my father stayed there, give me your house, and you stay in the kitchen and you stay in the bathroom, and if you come out of the house and if you shout you're a terrorist, will you accept it? What kind of a logic is this? I stayed 3,000 years ago, so I come back to this country. It's totally, a person who is educated and who's a journalist, it's shameful that we even discuss such ideas. It's mind-blowing that somebody actually believes in such theories. That 3,500 years ago, somebody lived here, so I'll come back and live here. This is absolute nonsense. In 1948, there was a country called Palestine. That country was occupied by Israel. This is the view Mahatma Gandhi had, and we as Indians should follow the view of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi clearly stated Palestine belongs to the Palestinians in the same way as England belongs to the English or France belongs to the French. This is the view of Mahatma Gandhi. Why we are digressing from the view of Mahatma Gandhi? Why are we so scared of Israel? We as a country, we fought occupation. We fought and we got independence. Hamas and Hezbollah are not proxies. They are the people who are fighting for the freedom of their own country. According to the United Nations, Hamas is an open jail. It did not start on 7th of October. What happened before that? It was an open jail. There are thousands of people in the prison in Israel who have no files, who have no information. People have no information. They take you away at night. Israeli soldiers say, we go into the night. The YouTube videos on it.
Mr. Abbas, how do you classify what happened a year ago on the 7th of October? Do you think that was a terrorist attack?
Look, it's not only me, but many Jewish scholars and intellectuals and historians, they clearly say it was a resistance effort. Okay? First of all, on 7th of October, what has happened? We need to find the truth. There was a resistance activity. According to Hamas, they did not attack any innocent civilians. They had list of all the Israeli military personnel, and they took away the military personnel, and those people whom they took were military personnel. Israel lied one after another. The first lie, they said they raped people. Okay? Haaretz newspaper, which is the Israeli newspaper, it clearly stated that it was Israeli helicopters which crushed the Israelis. Go and read don't believe in the Muslim newspaper or the Middle East is the Israelis. So okay. The claim of chopping off the head.
Mr. Abbas, stay with us, Mr. Abbas. I'll come back to you momentarily, sir. Mitra Jashni, an Iranian artist, is also joining us on the broadcast. Mitra Jashni, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
Right, my question to you is, Israel says that this is a terrorist attack. Do you agree with this description?
First of all, let me clear that is not war between Iran and Israel. That is the war between Islamic Republic and Israel. And of course, I'm agree with Israel. Why? Because when you launch 200 rockets in a night to the city, that people live that without any warning to the people and without any planning, of course, this is the terrorist attack under a civilization place. And this is very clear that Islamic Republic wants to start a big war.
Well, Israel also says that this is not actually starting a war. A war has been happening for the last few decades because Iran and its proxies, especially the Hezbollah, the Hamas, and the Houthis, have been attacking Israel and its allies since a very, very long time. That this is perhaps an escalation of what already existed. How do you respond to that?
The existence of Islamic Republic and brutal regime and brutal Islamic regime exactly is based onto anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish and anti-Israel. That is their ideology. So for many years, Islamic Republic spreads the propaganda against Israel and try to spread the anti-Israelism around the world, not only in Iran. And why they estrange the proxy military groups like Hezbollah, Houthis, like Hashd al-Shabi, like Fatimiyun, and these groups are like really, really dangerous, not only for Israel, even for Iranian people. You watch what happened in 2 years ago inside the Iran when the women started to raise against the rules of Sharia. They killed the people inside the street, and most of them, they were from this proxy group. So this is not only the war between Israel and Islamic Republic, this is the war between the all people that they seek for freedom and they seek for democracy against the Islamic Republic.
Well, the Americans have also warned Iran, and Iran is already crippled by sanctions from across the world. The Western world looks at Iran as a pariah. The Arab world also doesn't want to do anything with Iran. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and some of the other richer, Arab countries have said that they will not support this war. They will not support Palestine because obviously they're concerned about their own citizens. They're concerned about the development and the progress of their own region. Where does this leave Iran? And is it a worrisome situation for Iran? Can things get even worse than they already are, according to you?
Yeah, that's true. Because if you are a popular regime, if you are a national regime, you think first about your people, not about the people of in another country. That even when we talk about the Israel and Palestine, that is something like a legend, because now we are living in 21st century. This is not about like 10 years ago or 20 years ago that we don't have any access to the social media and to the open source in the book. I just listened to your guest before I'm arriving here, and I see how he tried to say something rules from the Sharia. This is not true. We people have right to live together in a world and be the world next to each other, without thinking about our religion, without thinking about any ideology. Of course, I have a lot of things against the Biden-Harris state. They support Islamic Republic since 4 years ago. They opened the source of transit for the oil and petrol from them. So that is the reason we have this war today.
How do the people of Iran view this conflict? Obviously you mentioned that, there is a lot of anger, there's a lot of angst against the regime as well. Some of the rules and the laws, especially related to patriarchy and, women's rights and freedoms have made headlines across the world. How do the people of Iran view this conflict? Is it unnecessary for them to get into this?
Yeah, actually, this is very complicated situation for Iranian people, because first we hope that Israel doesn't attack our oil infrastructure and also urban Iran, because this belongs to Iranian people and Iran, not belong to the Islamic Republic. But the next, that is very important for us, if some country like Israel make a war against the Islamic Republic government. That's we want, because this oppressive regime, since 4 decades ago until now, they control everything in my country. They make a lot of torture and a lot of crimes against the Iranian people. And now you talk about the sanction, you talk about the people, the world doesn't want this regime. As an Iranian people, as an Iranian woman, actually, we have right to have a national and also to have a peace-loving regime. That is very important of us. For me, as a constitutional political activist, I hope the Pahlavi royal family return to Iran, and also we believe to a free referendum for Iran to choose the type of the regime. That is what we want as Iranian people.
How do you view Israel? Do you think they're right in defending their own land? You know, I was having the same conversation with Mr. Abbas also. He's still with us on this program. Netanyahu went on the Jordan Peterson show and went on to say that, you know, the Jews occupied this land since 4,000 years. You know, Jesus was born in Israel. He was in Galilee, and of course the Bible also talks about the presence of the Jewish people. He talks about Mark Twain visiting Israel in the 19th century when the Palestinians did occupy it after the Arab invaders took over this land, but they did not find any growth. It was completely abandoned and it was in shambles. That's when this paper went out, the Jews read it, and they decided to come back to Israel. Where do you stand on this ownership question of Israel?
Yeah, this is a really interesting historical background. If we want to talk about the history, as you said, that actually this is the Jewish land, because also the Jewish is the elder than Islam. But we are, as I told you, we are living in 21st century. That's this war, this ideological war between the Islamic
So do you concede
Republic.
that this is Jewish land?
Yeah, of course. If we want to back to the history, that is real Jewish land. We talk about the Orushalim. We talk about the Israel. This is the very ancient ethnic in the world. This is their land. But even I don't talk about this. Many years Israeli and Palestinian people live together. This is not the war about the Israel and Palestinian people. This is the war between the Islamic Republic, Shia, and the Islamic Marxists with Israel. So if just left them behind, they live together in peace. Why you try to make
Mitra
a
Jashti,
war
can I
with
ask
them?
you something? Can I ask you something? I'm sure, since you are showing your anger against the regime at this point in time, I'm taking an intelligent guess that you are not in Iran at this point in time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I am not in Iran, because if I was in Iran, I couldn't talk. I have to be
What
silent.
would happen
like
to you? What
many-
would happen to you if you said something like this in Iran?
They kill me. They kill me. They say me I am a spy of Israel, and they kill me. Like many people, you see what happened to 2022 in Iran, that they arrest people in the street, that they shouted for freedom and for democracy, and they said you are a spy of Israel, and they hang them out. That is they are doing not now, since they existed since 45 years ago until now. This is the brutal regime. This is the ideological regime against the world, not only against Israel.
Well, stay with us. You're very brave for saying what you're saying, and I appreciate that. But let me also get a response from Mr. Abbas also, who's joining us, who's been with us on this program as well. Mr. Abbas, I'm sure you heard what was said in the last few minutes. How do you respond? She is from Iran. She does not think that this war is about land alone. It's about identity. It's about the accuracy of history.
Okay. First of all, it was not a very intelligent guess. It was very poor guess by you. Because
Sir, please don't
I
target.
think,
Sir, please don't get personal. All right. Somebody can say the same thing about you. I don't want you to get personal. I can say 10 things about you. Let's not get personal. Please express your intellectual opinion.
No. Now, I'm telling you, the flag that she has behind her is not of Iran. Okay? And she's carrying a different country flag behind her, expressing that Iran has some different flag. Okay? She is, of course, somebody who is definitely not Iranian, according
We've
to what
already
Iran is
established that.
today.
I want you to respond to
Okay,
her.
so okay, that's fine. Okay, so that I'm not interested in responding to her because I don't value her opinion, and what she's saying is only 1% of the information that she has said doesn't belong to her. It's only feeded by the Western media, and she's copy pasting it. So I had requested that I don't want to get into the debate, and I am not a person that I'm interested in any debate with
All
anybody
right.
else. So the team that you had, I had only one-to-one discussion with you. So let me come back to my points, the points that you were talking about Iran being an ethical partner. Let me give you some examples. What Iran has done, what Israel has done. Israel has killed 10,000 children, according to United Nations and according to the figures which is released by the Health Ministry. Do you agree to that? That Israel has killed 10,000 children? Okay, and despite killing 10,000 children and 40,000, 50,000 human beings, still somebody can assume that Israel is a country which is not an evil country and somebody else is an evil country is absolutely nonsense and illogical, and anybody will have a little bit of sense will not have these discussions. Secondly, you keep repeating the point of being proxy, being proxy. Let us get back to the point of proxy. Is Saudi Arabia not a proxy? Are all the Middle East, where is democracy in the Middle East? Where are people's opinion in the Middle East? If tomorrow there is people opinion in the Middle East, all these Arab kings will run away. These Arab kings are living in the Middle East just because of one reason, and that is because they have this submission to the West, and they need to follow the orders of the West.
Mr. Abbas, you
Okay?
mentioned in the
When-
beginning
let-
that you're,
let me
you're
complete-
Indian and you're living in Iran, correct?
Let me complete.
Quick, so
Let
we
me
have a
complete.
paucity of time as well. That's why I want to conclude with another question to you. You said you're Indian and you're living in Iran. You're studying in Iran. Is that true?
Yes.
So
yes.
what do you make of India's support to Israel? India has unequivocally said that they will support Israel and that the attack by Iran is a terrorist attack.
Okay. Did India say that? Who said that?
The Prime Minister said that.
Right? No. This regarding the attack today, you said Iran. Prime
Whatever
Minister said it was a terrorist
the
attack.
attacks that have been happening on Israel for the past few years are
No,
terrorist
no.
attacks.
Don't twist the words, my friend. Ma'am, I'm asking.
Okay, let me
happened-
rephrase. Let me rephrase. India is supporting
So
Israel. How do you look at that? How do you look at
don't
that?
Don't put the words in the Prime Minister's mouth, please.
You've said that already. How do you look at India supporting Israel?
India's support, my opinion about India's support is the same what Mahatma Gandhi had. Mahatma Gandhi said Palestine belongs to Palestinians the same way France belongs to French. This is the stand of Mahatma Gandhi, and this is the stand that every Indian should have, and this is the stand that I will follow.
All right,
And
great.
according to
That's
the
a great
Article
stand, and you're
21
following it on Mahatma Gandhi's birthday. That's commendable. Thank you so much, Mr. Abbas. I appreciate your opinion. And we have some breaking news coming in now. All right, well, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has condemned Iran's ballistic missile attack on Israel. And he said, and I quote, in the strongest terms during a call with his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu. Starmer also expressed the United Kingdom's steadfast commitment to Israeli security and the protection of civilians. All right, let us in fact get another opinion in at this point in time. Major General Sanjay Soi, defense expert, is also joining us on the program. General Soi, thank you for joining us. So, one very obvious question. This is obviously, an escalation which has caught the attention of the entire world. Geostrategically, everybody's beginning to decide, sir, where are they going to in fact join this war? How do you look at this escalation, and is this likely to spill over in the next few days? Hamas attack happened a year ago, so it's perhaps taken 12 months for Iran to retaliate like this. And of course, what happened in Lebanon with the Hezbollah chief is the reason why they say they attacked Israel the way they did.
Absolutely, Vineet. In fact, I would say that you are absolutely right. 7th October onwards, operations are going on mainly against Hamas, and yes, with the Hezbollah and Houthi also, some skirmishes of firing of rockets and missiles were there. However, since Hamas is almost done, the focus is now shifted to Hezbollah, and the intensity of operations in Lebanon and against Hezbollah is increased manifold. At the same time, Israel has been doing the pinpoint attacks and killing the leadership. The main thing, Vineet, which I feel is why Iran was sort of a corner and was supposed to retaliate. This is the first time it is so far these were proxies were fighting against Israel. It is the first time the nation has taken up a stand and they fought against the Israel. Because probably the reason was that proxies were getting restless, that we have been fighting, we are getting killed. What are you doing? You are not even coming forward and doing anything. Second thing, probably their own domestic population, for the happiness of their domestic population, for the satisfaction of their domestic population, since Ismail Hania was killed, and then an attack was on council, and their Brigadier General of IRGC was also killed in the attack. Third was probably to show it to the world, show it to the Israel that we can do it, we will do it. And probably, yes, the attack was very intense, but how effective it was, it is yet to be seen. Yes, I would say that it was not totally 100% failed. Israel has been able to shoot down some
but
missiles.
General Sui,
but some missiles
there has been, there are chinks in Israel's armor as well that have been exposed. The Iron Dome
Absolutely.
has not been completely able to ward off this attack, and the same thing happened with Hamas as well. Why is that?
Yes, in fact, it is because of the volume. There are three things. Though Israel has a very advanced air defense system, they have Arrow 2, Arrow 3 given by US. They have their own David Sling and this Iron Dome. Layers of air defense system is there. But there are two, three things which have happened. Is the volume of missiles. If 181 missiles come, they totally saturate the whole system, the surveillance system, and this has happened in spite of Israel getting a warning. They had come to know, and naturally, if the missiles have been fired 2,000 kilometers away, there's a reaction time with Israel to again prepare. And when Iran was preparing, then also they got the warning. In spite, because the defense system was totally saturated. Second thing is they had used the hypersonic missile and ballistic missile, which is again difficult to intercept and difficult to handle. So yes, it has shown the chinks in the defense system, and that is why probably there's the image has also taken a beating once again. And Israel, that's why it's has made the statement that they will take the revenge, they will give it back to the Iran. And now that is where probably Vineet, you have rightly mentioned whether this will escalate further, because if Israel retaliates in a very strict manner, with a heavy volume and with huge losses to Iran, it will naturally escalate to the next ladder. Then Iran will retaliate. Then there are other countries like Jordan, then Syria, then Iraq. Then the countries will get involved. So far, it was only non-state player, Hezbollah, Houthi, and Hamas who were fighting. But now the countries are getting involved, and we need the chances of escalation are much more, and the world is that's why worried. The oil prices may go up. The Persian Houthis already creating problem in Red Sea. Iran may create problem in Persian Gulf. So the world is worried that how far this can escalate. Fortunately, some Middle East countries are keeping neutral, taking neutral stand, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, UAE. They are, because they're thinking of their own safety, they're thinking of their growth. They don't want to get involved with terrorist or terrorist activities. So probably it all depends. The ball is in Israel's court. How the Israel reacts to it, but Israel has to do something. They have made it very clear. They'll select the time and place of their choosing, and which is very, very important. They will do something. How they will do? Some unorthodox method they will use.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.